Lex Molly in the on things that grind our gears. The first thing that really grinds my gears is slow walkers.
And slow drivers.
That's true. When you're not even going the speed limit, like, that really grinds my gears.
Or turning into the fast lane to slow down. Go below the speed limit.
Yeah, if you're in the fast lane, go fast.
I'm pretty sure it's called the fast lane for a reason.
Fast lane does not mean go the speed limit. If you want to go 100 on the 401, you go into the far right lane.
Yeah, you're going to make someone actually grind their gears on the highway. Just saying.
That was really good.
Thank you.
You're welcome. What grinds your gears, Alexis?
Stupid people. Actually, just people in general.
Yeah, people do grind my gears. You know what kind of people grind my gears? People that drink steep tea.
Don't know who you're talking about. Not me, because I'm not drinking steep tea right now. Yes, I am, folks. Yes, I am.
Tea just grinds my gears.
I'm a tea granny.
Tea what?
Granny.
Granny? Like you're an old person?
No, it's a saying, phrase, term. It's a term.
Oh.
It's like grannies because they drink tea, and I'm one of them because I like tea.
That's fair.
So I could be really old for my age, but sometimes I think I'm too young.
Yeah, I can see that. You're two.
You know what grinds my gears?
What's that?
Falling down the stairs and smacking your arm, and now having a huge bruise on your arm. It may have happened to a friend of mine who is myself.
Well, I can only say that's your own fault for walking down stairs with wet shoes on.
I'm sorry, you gotta get outside somehow. It's never happened before.
Okay, well maybe you should be a little more careful next time.
Apparently. Maybe I need to learn how to go downstairs.
You know what really grinds my gears is goalies who knock the net off on purpose to stop the play.
That's just rude.
It's just inconsiderate.
Yeah.
People who constantly raise their hand in university classes to either ask questions that are irrelevant or just for the sake of putting their hand up. Like, for instance...
You know who grinds my gears? Converse Kitty Jess. Or Kitty Converse Jess, however it goes.
The teacher says, who has a background in science? So, being a Bachelor of Arts school, no one really has a large background in science, or I would
Unless
assume
they're
so.
secretly a scientist, like Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Exactly who I'm going to see next Tuesday.
I know.
So, she puts up her hand, so then he asks her what the proper procedure is to write a science report, and she doesn't know the answer because she actually doesn't have a background in science. And she just puts her hand up to put her hand up. Grinds my gears.
Yes. Or in social class, when her points don't even make sense to the question. No relevance whatsoever.
No. Another thing that really grinds my gears is people who start a conversation over like text or Facebook message, that kind of thing, and then don't reply. They're like, hey, what's up? And you're like, nothing, you? No answer. I'm like, you started the conversation? Why isn't it going anywhere?
That's annoying. Sometimes on Facebook I forget I started a conversation. Like today
Facebook,
with you.
Facebook, yes. Because, you know, you can walk away from your computer, but most people, like, nowadays have their phones, like, attached to their heads.
Yes.
Like, I do, personally.
Yes.
But, like, to start a conversation, like, to go to your way and be like, hey, what's up? And then not answer me when I reply.
Actually just sitting there playing the Jeopardy song in my head, just going, doo-doo.
Yeah, exactly. Or people that, like, you're mid-conversation and they just stop. Like, you don't have to say bye in a text conversation all the time, I understand that, but...
Just when it ends?
Yeah,
and you didn't know, you weren't ready for it to end?
When it trails off, like, you ask them a question, or when you ask someone, like, a few questions in, like, a big, long novel of a text message, and they only answer, like, one part of it, and you're, like, waiting and waiting for the other parts, or they just don't come.
Or it's not a yes or no question, and they answer yes or no.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's no. You know what really grinds my gears? Children that use the N-word.
I had a kid do that.
Yeah.
They don't even know what it means, and they just use it.
You know what else really grinds my gears? When people have a whole entire empty hockey arena to sit in, and they decide to sit 2 seats in a row away from you. Not like 2 like seats and a couple rows away. No. 2 seats in a row.
It's like they don't understand that we're trying to do a Lex and Molly segment. Like,
or that we have a bubble the size of the arena.
But
that they can't get in.
Oh,
your
yeah.
personal bubble space.
I know. You're lucky you get to sit so close.
Well, like, I feel like when we do Lex and Molly, our bubbles merge into one.
Yes.
So it has to be twice the size
It becomes one larger bubble.
Yes.
I accept that.
I feel like our bubble might be able to reach down to Jess in timekeeping, but I'm not really sure if she's included in it or if that's the cutoff.
I don't know, because her bagel smells really good, and I wanted it, but
that's true.
Not this week.
No.
Not spending a single dime all week. That's...
Oh, you know what grinds my gears? When you ask to go out with someone, like, to lunch, or grab a coffee, like, actually get a coffee, like, it's a coffee date, and they don't get anything. Like, nothing at all.
Yeah, then you sit there awkwardly, like, okay, well, I figured, like, we talk until I finish sipping on my beverage.
Or you go to get food, and, like, just kidding, I don't want anything to eat. And you're stuck there eating. And eating alone with someone else, it's awkward.
Oh, speaking of eating, you know what grinds my gears? People who don't chew with their mouth closed.
Yes.
Like, not only does it grind my gears, it makes me want to upchuck.
Yes.
Like, it's gross. Just chew with your mouth closed. Like, it's not that hard.
On the topic of eating, what else grinds my gears? When you have something in your teeth, and you're in a big group of people, and they go, you have something in your teeth, and then every single person in the area,
at your teeth, you're like,
probably the whole entire classroom, if you're in a classroom, is staring at your teeth.
Yeah, that's
So then
true.
you just shut your mouth for a long time and forget about it until someone else notices it. Or you're someone else that we cannot name.
Sitting in, like, a university class setting, and, like, you're, you know, not really paying attention to the prof because it really is boring and she doesn't teach you anything.
And you don't actually have any exams, so you don't need to take notes.
Exactly. And so you're on Facebook or Twitter or editing your Lex and Molly segments, and the person beside you who, like, is an acquaintance, sometimes a friend, like, you know, whatever.
Sometimes less.
Or someone behind you who's just, like, really random, starts, like, being like, oh, like, what are you doing? Or, like, you notice the person behind you's, like, watching, and you're like, okay, like, not cool. Or they start laughing at what you're doing. I'm like, not acceptable.
Unless it is live stream penguins.
That's okay,
allowed. The whole...
You know what grinds my gears? That they took off live stream penguins off Discovery
They did notify us that it was only on for 2 weeks.
You know what grinds my gears? When people go in the wrong penalty box. You are in the wrong penalty box. See how your penalty box lines out?
Oh, it does. That's nice. See, that's something I would do.
It's almost idiot proof. Keyword, almost.
But it's not Alexis proof.
That's fair. Proof. It's not Alexis proof.
And it's most definitely not Beck proof.
Oh, poor Beck.
Don't even get us started.
Such a beautiful soul. That's all I can say about her. She's just a really nice girl.
We the best season as we turn. Cause I'm out here grinding. I do this for the streets, the runners. Cause I'm out here grinding.